welcome to another edition of Pitch BrandTalk. Whether it's a small cold or a bout of indigestion, all of us have our own ghar ke nuske, commonly available ingredients in the kitchen, such as turmeric, amla, black pepper, moringa, all have a host of benefits which our grandmothers have all told us about. Now, by applying the science and innovation between these ingredients, which are widely available in nature, Wellbeing Nutrition is looking to bring about a nutrition revolution by bringing together science, nutrition, medicine, and wellness. I have with me today Saurabh Kapoor, co-founder of Wellbeing Nutrition. Saurabh, welcome.
Thank you so much, Simran. Thank you for having me on board.
Saurabh, I just want to start off, first of all, from your genesis. The company was founded in 2020. You've come on board in 2021. So it's going to be 5 years next year. So looking back, what have been your challenges and how did you overcome them? And, you're a baby of COVID. So how did that help impact the business?
Sure. I think one of the biggest challenges in this category has been the acceptance of the category as part of your lifestyle. I think where it's not yet to become habitual for consumers to kind of start taking it as part of your daily routine. And that was one of the things that we kind of, when we started in the comparison of this category with an OTC product, where consumer perceptions are that the efficacy is going to be there instantly. Has been a big kind of challenge to overcome, where it's about explaining them that this is a long journey ahead and not something that you're looking at overnight to solve. While there will be certain products like sleep and throat which could give you instant results, but as an overall wellness, it's a long-term kind of journey that you need to go on rather than look at a short-term gain. Second, making it a habit in your lifestyle. I think these were the two bigger challenges to start with, where we wanted to change the mindset of consumers as to how you want to consume supplements, which has been our constant endeavor over the last 2-3 years. Secondly, also in terms of post-COVID was a big bonus for us and all the other brands in this category, because there was a self-realization of consumers to be proactive rather than reactive. Before COVID, it was all about, when you fall ill, that's when you realize how strong is your immunity and whether you're able to cope up with the illness or not. But now, when I say this, it's not just a TG which is 30 plus. We've even seen 18 plus, 25 plus who are kind of actively engaged in this, where they really want to be, proactively stronger within rather than, kind of look for results, look for solutions once they are, in a kind of slightly different zone. What we've realized post-COVID also is a constant change in the mindset from being health conscious to wellness. There's a shift that's happened from health to wellness. The difference being health was always about on and off. You go to a gym, typically in the month of Jan, when you really want, the fitness levels to come up. By March or April, you kind of, leave that journey behind. Now it's become a constant, always on kind of an approach, which is where wellness kind of comes in. It was more about individual earlier. Now it's more about a community. You look at everyone coming together and kind of moving together on this. So there's been a transition shift post-COVID. Adaptability is obviously higher. There is more knowledge. Definitely before COVID and post-COVID, consumers are far more aware in terms of what they are eating, what ingredients are there, is it going to help them or not? Because there's no formula which is one size fit all. I mean, every individual might, depending on their lifestyle, would require just 1 or 2 products, or some of them may require more. So I think those are some of the changes, mindset shift that we have seen over the last 3-4 years.
Now, I just want to go back to, again, your genesis. You started primarily on the e-commerce platform, but you pivoted very quickly and you took a omni-channel strategy. What was also very interesting is that, you looked at airport retail very early on, which is not something which people look at, airport retail. That will probably come right at the end. So how did this help your brand?
So I think initially, when we were only a D2C online brand, and we were, I think, one of the first few ones to venture offline, I think the genesis came from saying that at the end of the day, when you're consuming something, you really need to read the back of the pack. You really need to understand what the product is all about, because this is not something that day in and day out you're buying. And the intent of just going at the airports was twofold. One, people have slightly more time at the airport when they're browsing around and they look at, what all new products are there. The mind space is there for them to kind of go through them. And secondly, also for travel, these became a really good fitment. When you're traveling out, you need something for your gut, not necessarily every time you want to get into medicines. So you said, as a nutraceutical supplement, what can I take? There was sleep, which is a bestseller now, which is the melt strip sleeps, essentially for people on long flights. Started taking the products there to say that I could get a good sleep while I'm in the flight. So it kind of started from there, where our response was phenomenal. We had WH Smith, Relay, and some of the other players at the airport, right at the counter. That was our intent, for people to come and actually get a visibility of the brand. And the consumption was so good that it kind of gave us, the confidence to kind of scale up omni-channel. And from airports to all chain pharmacies, whether it be Guardian and Apollo, to even barista cafes. That was our second innovation, where we are now present across all cafes. And again, it was about people coming in there. Either there were people coming in at coffee shops to kind of have a conversation and then head out to the gyms. Usually, it's pre-caffeine and pre and post, and we felt there was a good fitment there for them to look at this. And all of these have kind of strengthened the credibility for the brand, for people to kind of get a feel of the product, try it out, and then come back online buy. So it's kind of both channels, offline and online, help each other out. And now we're pretty happy that in about 3-4 years time, we're across 2,500-3,000 stores across India. Right from your chain pharmacies, like I said, to airports, to all the modern trades. We are present probably in every, near corner, modern trade that you would find around you.
I was just looking at your microsite and I really like this line. We are not just another supplement company. We work for a generation that wants more. So I just want to understand, who's your exact target customer? Is it the people who are in the metros and Taiwan? Are you looking at going deeper? Because your price point is also, you're at a premium price point.
See, for us, we all started with the typical definition of tier 1, tier 2. But for us, I think the ideal consumer for us is an India 1 consumer. Now, when I call it an India 1 consumer is a person who has certain disposable income, could be residing in a metro, could be residing in tier 2 as well. For example, our tier 2 growth has been phenomenal in the last 6 months, which is Lucknow, Indore, Kanpur. People have the disposable income there who are health conscious, who know what's right for their body, and they're willing to pay the premium to get the right product. So for us, it's more to do with that consumer, unlike restricting our boundaries to only a tier 1, tier 2. While when we started, the adoption was faster in a tier 1, predominantly because of the levels of awareness and education in that tier 1, where they understood what we were selling, what kind of ingredients were we getting from international markets. But over a period of time, now we're seeing a faster growth happen through tier 2, tier 3 towns as well. So even a Jaipur, Chandigarh and a Pune are big markets for us as compared to the top 6, which are typically there. So a health conscious consumer who's online savvy and who's, who has all the awareness across in this category, plus with a disposable income, is an ideal consumer for us.
Now, I just want to get to your marketing. One thing, when you look at supplements, and because you said that you were, initially compared to the OTC segment also, what are the challenges you face, particularly when it comes to the regulation front? Are there any things that you faced, on that front?
Not really, because our ethos is that any ingredients that we source from across the world, we do have clinical trials and proper studies behind them. So to be honest, whenever we've done our consumer dipstick research as well, the only 2 words that come out from all of our consumers is clean and transparent. I can trust the brand with what they're giving us because everything is out there. You go on our website, you will see all the clinical trials being there. Through our CRM channels, we keep sending consumers as to, this is the study that's been done behind the products. And this is why you should be using it. And this is the efficacy levels at what point of time in your lifestyle do you see it. So we haven't faced anything in the last 3-4 years in particular where there has been questions raised in terms of regulations. We've always tried to be within that, and the consumers have perceived that as well. So I don't think that's been a challenge for us. I think it's more to do with consumer acceptance rather than the product and the clinical trials behind it.
In the last 4 years, probably when you started off, digital marketing and e-commerce marketing would have been the two big areas for you where you would have spent the money.
Yeah.
So, are there any learnings that you believe has helped you, drive growth?
I think the biggest learning is being that when you go out there to acquire a consumer for a short term with not setting the right expectations is not really a model that will work. If I go out there and I say that okay, you gotta buy this product, it helps you relieve, simple as your throat relief might happen overnight. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna take time. I think the moment when you start setting the expectations right in your marketing, in terms of it's a long-term journey that you're ahead, then the consumers that get acquired through it are well informed about what the output is, and they are more loyal to the brand because then they see the results happening over a period of time. I think when we all started post-COVID, also there was an influx of consumers trying to buy anything they could, for an immunity, for anything. But over a period of time, our marketing has evolved around educating them for a long-term, kind of solution rather than looking at small-term. While you may acquire lesser consumers in your first transaction, but they are there for long. And I think that's where the profitability and the long-term sustenance of the brand comes in. When you're not, spending constantly to acquire new consumers. At the end of the day, you want people to stick to you and be there for a long term. So I think setting the expectations right has been very, very important.
You mentioned long term. So this I'm going to come to is specifically customer engagement on long term. How do you do it? Is there any innovation that you've done that you can share with us? Also, what is the percentage of say repeat customers that you see vis-a-vis say new buyers on your platform that you see?
So overall, we've got an upward retention of 40% plus from consumers, which means almost 45-50% of the consumers in a year come back to us multiple times. Every month, we only try to acquire 30 to 40% new customers. And because at the end of the day, it's a habit that you're trying to build with consumers. When you've got a consumer on board, there's a proper CRM journey that we kind of get connected with the consumer on in terms of what you bought, what does this product have, what kind of trials does it have, how to consume it. Over the next 8 weeks, we try and be with the consumer at each step every week in order to guide them to say, this is what you should be feeling now that if you're having your product for the last 2 weeks. We also have a nutritionist free consultation at any point of time where you feel that it's not just the product. At the end of the day, it's a lifestyle that we're trying to sell. And if you need the right kind of diet, you need right kind of overall wellness that you require, that's where a nutritionist steps in and tells you as to what all should you be following. So it's almost from the start till about 8 weeks, we try and be with the consumer so that in the end of the 8 weeks, has it become a habit with the consumer? And so that's been our constant endeavor to do. In order to do this, there are some innovations that we're bringing in over the next few months in the form of a lot of engagement on apps and a lot of AI tools that we're going to be integrating with to make that journey easier for consumers, where they are able to understand basis their own body, make it more personalized, basically, what kind of nutrition, what kind of wellness do you require? Rather than kind of coming in and saying, most of the consumers actually, the new time come in on the website and say, I don't know, what do I need? I think that's the first question they have. Oh, there's collagen for skin, there's multivitamins, there's magnesium, but what should I start with? Should I be taking all 5 of them? Should I be taking just 2 of them? I think we're trying to simplify that process, simplify their own understanding in terms of what does their body need, and then only guide them to, what maybe it's just the skin that you need to work on. So that's our next kind of 6 months journey where we're trying to get in a lot of tools and technology to make sure that journey is simpler for them.
So if I'm correct, so what you're saying is over the next 6 months, the focus area is personalization for your consumers. So this is only for consumers on your microsite or across platforms, because you're available everywhere, right? You're available on, I'm talking online only. So how about say a consumer buying it on Amazon or, any other websites? How do you
See, we
engage
would
with them?
always encourage them to continuously buy from whichever channel they feel is convenient for them. But at the end of the day, we do want to give all these services to them. So anyone who would end up buying a product from any of the platforms would be given the opportunity to come in and connect with a nutritionist, go through the AI tools. At the end of the day, they buy either from a quick commerce, which is rising for us nowadays, or an Amazon or Flipkart. It doesn't really matter. But at least that that knowledge in terms of what you need to buy needs to come from us, so that they know what they're buying and they're going in the right direction. So we will try to
With,
connect all of these platforms together.
now, content marketing is a big piece for you, right? And also influencer marketing comes along. So how are you leveraging this? And now you brought on board even Soha Khan and Kunal Kemmu on board. So how are you looking to leverage them and also influencer and content marketing? What is the game that they play for you?
See, I think one of the key metrics for us to select any celebrity and influencer, and be it Soha and Kunal now, or the past ones that we had, Mira, Rakul, and DQ, all of them believed in fitness. All of them were users either in some way of our products, or were not exposed to them and then became users. But I think the ethos in terms of them living a lifestyle was very, very important for us to select, because at the end of the day, when they are the influencers who are coming out and talking about it, they need to believe in it. And similarly for Soha and Kunal, if you see, they are absolutely fitness buffs out there. They are constantly throughout the day working on themselves, and we found a perfect fit for our sports and performance range. And both of them together actually complement each other very well in terms of bringing that out. So for us, it was about, and also when we were shooting with them, there was so much that just came from them to say, you know what, this is what we do in the morning. This is exactly what we feel that a lot of people should start doing, and this is where we take our protein, when we are doing certain physical workouts. So I think it was just a kind of the marry was pretty easy for us with them. They kind of believed in our products, they were consuming our products, and came out together. Now, when they post something like that, the believability goes up, and it shows, when they're creating the content. And that's been our key kind of focus on whomever we hire, whether it's Soha, Kunal, or anyone else in the future, which we will. How do they make it sound that the content is as organic as it is, and they would normally do it, even if we were not there as a brand. So I think that's worked for us, and also for them, the choice of products were purely theirs in terms of what products do they want to focus, but those are the ones that they're actually using. So for us, that kind of a leeway given to the content creators is very important, rather than us going and saying, you know what, this is my bestseller, you should start selling this. Doesn't matter. I mean, it won't work. No matter how hard they try, unless and until they actually like it and they're using it, the content just kind of becomes very different in cases. So these are some of the things that we kind of do with them.
Yeah, now you mentioned sports and performance nutrition, which I believe is a 3.1 billion market
Yes.
in India itself.
Yeah.
Now, there are two things in sports. A lot of times you also hear negative stories about the kind of supplements people take when, just particularly when it comes to sports. So what are you doing on this front, and how big do you think will this particular segment grow, and what is the space that you are looking to create in this?
See, I think once all of this kind of happened and it went out in the news, people have become more aware. They do read the back of the packs. They review more. They look at what consumers are talking about, rather than just going and buying. They're actually doing conversations with the peers about it, as to which one should I take. So I think it's good for the industry, because at the end of the day, it helps clean up. And if there are any players who are not up to the standards, it'll only push them to go up to the standards. So I think that's what we've seen. For us, typically in this, we took a lot of time in the sports and performance range to get into whey protein. We've just got in about 20 days back. It's actually just been put up for our existing customers. We've not yet even started ads for it. Phenomenal response initially, because they all believed in brand well-being in terms of what you bring to the table. And for us also, creating a product which is clean and transparent with ingredients like versatile that we've added in, which has a clinical trial behind it. So for us, that was more important, to bring in a product which was clean and they could trust it. So sports and performance, big category out there. For us, protein and magnesium, which also falls under sports and performance, is huge right now. People are adopting to it. There is a huge repeat buy. In fact, more than the average of repeat is much higher here as compared to any other category, because this is something that you consume every month on month. You're hitting the gyms and you're doing that. On top of it, I think our approach in this category this time is slightly different. While Soha and Kunal are there to talk about their passion about it, we have a lot of tie-ups that we've done with gyms on ground. For example, in Delhi and NCR, there's Knox, which is one of the most premium gyms. The products have been with them. They are using it. They're becoming users of it. Their trainers are using it, and then start of creating content to convince customers and talk to them and tell them how we've kind of used it and what's happened to us. So I think our approach is more going bottom to top, so that there are trials already in the market where people have consumed and they have their own views. So that's the kind of an approach that we would want to take, and not just gyms in Delhi. You will find collaborations happening all across the country with as many gyms as we can. And this is not just for a person going to the gym. Actually, at the end of the day, protein is needed by everyone and anyone. So our intent is to make an active lifestyle. How can you start consuming the products? But there are these credible peers around who would use and test the product and then come out with their verdict. So I think we're happy to do that.
You spoke about collaborations. Another collaborations which you did was in the OTT space with a web
Yes.
series. Why did you go down that path, and what else can we expect when it comes to your marketing and advertising part? What else can we see you? Where else?
So what we'd seen over the last 2 years with a lot of data was that Melts was consumed by an audience as early as 25 and above. It's cool packaging. It's an innovative format, strips that you can just carry wherever you are, obviously backed by clinically trial ingredients. We wanted to kind of reach out to that audience, open up ourselves to a larger audience, and we felt that an OTT was a great platform. And then we looked at some of the shows where we felt, can there be seamless integrations in the shows where it could actually be a part of their lifestyles? And if you see at all the collaborations that we've done in the show with Amazon and MX Player, is where they're talking about as if it's a conversation happening, right? I mean, it's something that I need. And that was very important for us to show that if you're having that kind of a lifestyle, this is what could help you, or supplement, a kind of a supplement that could help you out there. So for us, it's our first foray, and purely from an audience standpoint, plus a fit with the lifestyle. Those are the two factors for us to try it out. So far, initial results have been very good. Sorry?
A seamless fit.
Yes, that was very important. We just wanted it as a conversational integration rather than going out and saying, hey, you know what, this is what you should buy. So if you look at the integrations that we've done, they just fit into the script. And that was the intent for us to do, and a slightly younger audience as well. So I think both combinations kind of work there.
So how much of your revenue are you getting from offline and online? And when you talk about online, you also mentioned earlier on about quick commerce.
Yes.
So if you could just explain offline, how much are you getting online and online e-commerce and quick commerce and your website?
So about 65-70% of our overall revenue comes from online, and about 30% is retail and exports. We do export to US and the UAE markets, and some bit of Holland and Barrett in the Netherlands. So that's 30-35% of our portfolio. Within the 65% that's online, we almost have about 30%-35% from our website, which is direct. Another 35-40% comes from the big ones, Amazon and Nykaa. And about 10-15% is now started picking up, which is the quick commerce. We were only with Blinkit about a couple of months back. Now we've got Swiggy, Zepto, all of them that's been made live. Huge growth on quick commerce. I think the discovery happens through your other online channels like website and Amazon. But when the consumption starts happening and you want a repeat purchase, I think people are just moving on to the quick commerce. One instant, 10 minutes, you get it. And secondly, it's just convenience for them. I mean, rather than waiting for the products to come, because these are products that you don't want to stop. If you're taking a protein, you need a protein. Your protein gets over, you don't want another day, 2 days without protein. So what we've realized is that people then end up going to quick commerce and buy it. So our melts is a big hit on quick commerce, especially the sleep. Sleep and the multivitamins are like, sleep is just doing exceedingly well. Now with the season kicking in up north, becoming cold, our throat relief melts is also doing very, very well across quick commerce. So yeah, I think that's they're rapidly growing, and I think in the next 6 months or 1 year, we see a larger percentage happening through quick commerce. At least move up to about 20-25% of the sales happening from there.
You mentioned sleep, and there's a lot of data about how everybody globally, and especially in India, is sleeping less, and insomnia is true. So, other than sleep, which are your other verticals or segments that are doing well? If you can just tell us about it, and any particular segment that you're betting on, because we spoke about sports, but
Sure.
anything else that you're betting on, which could be the growth driver for you?
So I think our biggest growth driver and a category creation that we're doing is beauty, the beauty wellness space, which is the collagens that we have. And we have right now the marine collagen and the vegan collagen. These are about 7 to 8 SKUs in it. The marine, beauty, glow, collagen, all three of them. They are bestsellers for us all across. We launched them 2.5 years back, and these are all Korean collagen. When we launched them, the category was very small. We were trying to get them into India, into the subcontinent market, and we were very skeptical to say, will consumers accept a collagen which is 2,500-3,000 bucks in the market? We were far more premium than anyone else, and we were the only ones who import from Korea directly. So we were very skeptical. But the day we launched it, within 10 days we were out of stock, and that kind of gave us the push to say that there is already, and obviously Korean K beauty was always on a rise in India, and kind of connected with our collagen and the ethos that we were doing. And today we are among the top 2, top 3 sellers of collagen across all platforms. So that's actually a good growth driver category that we would want to be known for, and we're trying to build ourselves into that. While we have right now the powder formats of collagen, going forward, there'll be a lot of innovation in that. There could be liquid collagen that could come in. There could be some different unique formats that we're working on, so in order to kind of grow that market. Plus, we've also seen the acceptance of collagen over the last 1 year being much higher, in terms of consumers now understanding that in order for you to age gracefully after 25 years, you need to start collagen now. So it's not something that is just for 8 weeks or 4 weeks. It's something that you want to take over the years. And globally, the market has already been established for collagen. People have been taking collagen for 10 to 15 years. So there's a lot of innovation there that's going to happen over the next 1 year. That's going to be a driver category over the next 2 years. We are known for it. We're going to continue to build in that. Sports and performance is obviously the second category, which is there. And I break it down into sleep as the third one, which we will eventually pick up. So we are seeing these 3 categories really work well for us right now.
It's kind of interesting because supplements have always been around. So in a sense that you are a new player in the supplement category, but at the same time, you're also creating a category.
Yes.
Right? So you're actually both, your legs are in both boats, right?
Correct.
One in a category which is well established, and one here you are in another category where you're trying to create the category, right?
Correct. So I think when we started, we were always creating a category. When we started, we had melts. There was no one else.
Yeah, there was no one else. That's
in
true.
the market. So we had Daily Greens as our first product in 2019 when we launched, which was an effervescent, a multivitamin green in a glass of water. It just fizzes into a beautiful drink. And we started with these innovations, obviously, and then collagen came in. So technically, our first 3 launches were all creating categories that we were doing. And then as the brand keeps growing, there are people around who really trust you. And they're like, why are you not in the sports and performance range? Why are you not kind of getting into it? And then you start looking at innovations in that range as well. Can I come out with products while, also withstanding the ethos of well-being, to say, I don't want to do something which is already being done. Can I bring some value to you? And within sports and performance, we got our delayed release capsules, which are the multivitamin capsules, and then magnesium. So our intent, while we are constantly moving into the big categories, is also to be innovative in those and also be, ahead of time. Like magnesium, when we launched last year, starting this year, we've already almost have 15-20% of the market share, because that's a trend globally, which was picking up for the last 1 year, and we decided to get into it early. So for us, the endeavor is always, while we will be in the big categories, but can we still bring out a differentiation there?
Finally, how are you looking to close out the financial year in terms of revenues, and say 5 years down the line, what are your expectations? Or
So in terms of numbers, we're looking at about clocking about 180 to 200 crores by March 25. That's our goal target, and we're on track to do that. Over the next 3 years, strengthen ourselves in the beauty and the sports performance category. The split between beauty and sports, will be obviously equivalent for us. Slightly edging towards beauty is where we want to go. Offline would become bigger as we see there is more and more acceptance of people coming through offline. So, but we've been very cautious in opening up offline. We are very selective in terms of where we want to go. Make sure we are at the supplement stores, make sure at lifestyle stores. So probably these 3,000 odd stores will go up to about 6,000 stores over the next 2 years. So offline contribution would move up from a 30 to a 40 odd percent. And also we would open up few international markets. UAE has become a big market for us, and we are continuously now striving to move beyond MENA region. So UAE and US, those would be the two key markets. US is the biggest in supplements all across the world, so we're yet to tap into that market. So we feel that these are the 3-4 things that where the brand is going to move over the next 3-4 years.
Saurabh, thank you so much for your time. It was really an insightful discussion.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Simran. Thanks for the time. Thanks for calling in.